coming from FCS. Some differences between the platform that you guys will obviously see. I think the biggest one is there's no Mobi inside of Jobba. So in FCS, you have that separate mobile login. In Jobba, you do not. Everything you can do in the office, you can do inside of Jobba with the same login, except what happens is depending on the size of your device, Jobba reshapes itself for the best experience on your device. So technically, and I like to always point this out, you can do the Power Board in the mobile view, but that is not a very friendly view. So certain pages aren't really designed for a mobile experience, especially on a phone, but everything else is really going to reshape itself nicely. A tablet is great for using the Power Board because it's all touchscreen and interactive, but certain pages just aren't designed for mobile. So even though you can get there, may not necessarily mean you want to. I'm logged in as a super administrator, so everywhere I'm logged in, I'm going to have more buttons than you guys. You guys will be able to see what you can based on your role. During the session, if I show you something, you guys try and do it, and you're like, oh, my role, I can't do what you're doing. That just means we have to adjust your role and let us know, so that way when we go live, everybody's roles are exactly where they need to be. Okay, any overall questions? Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of pretend I'm doing a sales demo and show you guys what's going on. Okay, so when you log into the system, the first thing Jobba wants to show you is what do you have going on right now. So I didn't have anything assigned this week, so I just switched it to this month. But you guys are immediately going to see what tasks are assigned to you. So this could be tasks that you guys have assigned yourselves. These could be tasks from other people in the organization. So I know one thing that we talked about that we want to do is we want to use deals and opportunities in the company to track sales and activities. So estimators, this is where you guys are going to see your task from an opportunity that says, we need an estimate by Friday or whatever the case is. So guys, kind of get used to paying attention to the screen because that's where you're going to see that information, because we want to automate a lot of those manual processes by using the system.
So in other words, we are not going to do our current way of doing our current process. We're getting that done. So Bill, when you go out and do an inspection, instead of, well, first of all, let's back up. Allie and Madison, when you have a client that wants an inspection, you're going to go ahead and go in here and you're going to create what needs to happen for Bill and Robert to know that we need an inspection. Then you guys are going to get the alert via Jobba to go out and do it. No longer will you get a phone call or anything like that. You're just going to get an alert that's on your calendar to do. So you will have that assigned to you. You'll go out and you'll do your inspection. Then this is where we're gonna break the process. Allie and Madison, you don't have to create folders in Dropbox and then notify Robbie and Robert that the estimate is ready. It's going to be on their dashboard. You are going to be required to put a due date in there for them so they know when it is due by. This gives us visibility and accountability. So now we know where we're at in the process with everything. It is going to be so much better than having 400 on Dropbox and then separating them out between proposals needed, proposals done. It eliminates the time in between when you guys are first scheduling the inspection until the proposal goes out the door.
Does it still get scheduled by Natalie or Marcella?
Yes. Until we have a good flow of things, and I would say that's probably going to be a year down the road until we have a really good understanding of how this is working for us and we work out the bugs. I think we can reassess it at that point in time. And then once we have a good system done, I think that the three of you can work with Natalie and or the two of you can work with Natalie on co-scheduling.
Okay.
If you guys can come up with a system that works. But I think for now, let's keep it to where Natalie and Maricela are doing the scheduling for inspections. You guys will still put everything in here. You'll put the requests in there. You're going to do your part on there. She'll get alerted that there are inspections that need to be scheduled, and then she'll confirm that.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Yep, I can see right over your head.
Yep. So on the right-hand side, what I have here is also my notifications. So in Jobba, you can actually, we have about 180 different notifications. A lot of them are already built into your profile. So service technicians, inspectors, salespeople, you don't have to sign up for the alert that says, tell me when I get a work sent to me. When there's a new customer assigned to me, you don't have to sign up for a lot of those, but there are a lot of ones that you guys could sign up for. So for example, you guys want and love for some reason, every time a dispatch gets closed. So as you can see, there's a lot of different notifications related to a dispatch, and you only want to know when it's done. So you can sign up for specific notifications and then choose how you get them. So the idea is if you guys subscribe to it because you care, so that way we don't have a lot of white noise where we have all these notifications and you're like, I'm only looking for one. So as we're going through this, and if you guys want a certain notification, maybe write it down and I can tell you how to sign up for it. But any questions on that? Okay, on the bottom right-hand corner here, I have my reporting set up here. And again, we'll get here with Aderhold once we get some data. But power of Jobba really, besides the workflow and the other changes, is the data and the reporting. So we can build custom dashboards, even out of the box dashboards for you guys. So out of the box, for example, we have a sales activity report, very basic, lead amount, quoted amount, sold amount. Looking at this dashboard myself, why do I have $2 million in leads and 8,000 in quotes? We've got to talk to somebody about what's going on. That's a problem. And that's a lot of the reports that come with Jobba out of the box are very simple key KPIs, but we can grow it into other things. Like here's an example of a more complicated report that I did for a customer. So anybody that loves to yeah, so we can do lots of different things.
Okay.
Marketing, business development. Here's an example of a report that tracks all of my leads, opportunities, what salesperson, who has them, who's successful with them. So we can do a lot of these things, but you have to, the reason to put the data in the system is so we can do things like this. There will be spots where there's going to be more clicks than what you're used to. Who loves that idea? Nobody. But the reality is, to get the data, you have to put it in. Any questions from the team?
So how do we start basically tomorrow, can we start putting stuff in there to see how it?
We'll figure out when we're going to roll through, but in a training environment, you guys could start putting data in.
Okay.
And then we can start looking at some of your reports and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yep. So another very popular report for anybody who likes to follow money is we have an age receivables report that comes with the system out of the box. So we can see by customer, by aging. We could even look at an accounts receivable report that's going to show us invoice by invoice, customers, bad payers, things like this. And again, these all come with out of the box, but we can do custom reports for you guys as a company. We can't control access by permissions and things like that. So the data is just not going to be exposed. But again, we can do a lot of things inside of the system. Who likes to look at service profitability and reports and things like that?
Me and Natalie.
There you go. Who loves to go do free work?
No.
Nobody. So we do have a really nice $0 invoice report.
Yeah.
So we can see trends and things like that. We're going to do a lot of callbacks and stuff like that. So this takes that feeling away of what's happening in the company, and we actually know what's happening in the company. Yeah. So again, that's part of what Jobba is built for. Client management is a lot of the same ideas as FCS, but a lot of things are different as well. So obviously we would have the ability to have a customer with many properties, but in FCS, if your customer owns 50 properties, you can't really tell, for example, that they're all part of one complex or there's 7 different complexes. It's just a big list. In Jobba, we can actually organize by location. So here I've got these 3 are in Chicago proper, these are in Cook County, these are in Will County. So you guys can organize your properties by locations. And this is just an example that I did by county. A lot of people do things like, this is the complex, this is the strip mall, these are all the tenants in the strip mall. So you guys can really get organized as far as finding your properties in your records and things like that.
Yeah. So in your terms, how will it affect you guys? This would be perfect for Orange Lake,
Yes.
for Met West,
I was gonna
for
ask,
any
is
of our
it-
retails.
Did it
and our-
separate the reports? Because we have mentioned that this Orange Lake one where we've done repairs over there 3 or 4 years ago, and you can pull up, when you pull it up, it still shows those reports.
Yeah, one report is 900.
900.
Literally.
Yeah. So for example, what I usually recommend with those kinds of complexes is, let's say we have a strip mall, like 10 tenants there. I say put the tenant owner in there and do all the buildings for the owner because he wants to know his whole property. But then I say put each tenant in and section off their part of the property. So that way you can separate the tenant calls from the owner's overall complex thing. And then you can separate the data and look at it how you want to. Would that help?
Well, what it
Not in
does
this
is,
case, but I think Bill's just asking, like, each time he goes out and does an inspection, is it gonna generate a new report? Or is it gonna go,
connect it to the
it's
last.
gonna be
This is great question. Now I understand. FCS, it's one report.
correct?
In Jobba, you have reports in point in time. So you can see last year's report versus yesterday's report. So you don't lose your old
But
one.
they're all separate.
They're all separate.
Yeah. That's what-
Yeah, so you could look at them at points in time.
Because, I mean, we've been there like last week and 21.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the 21 reports before you look, they're all connected.
Exactly.
They separate them into years or even months at that.
Yeah, so they're connected as
would
in
like
they're
each
part of their
visit.
property,
Right.
but you don't lose the ability to go individual inspection. So you have all the data. We don't get rid of it.
Right.
You can combine it or leave it out.
Right.
Okay.
So you don't have to look at it every time.
Exactly.
Look at it.
Exactly. Okay. So that's client management on this side of it. We'll cover entering customers and all that stuff as part of the sessions. A different concept inside of Jobas compared to FCS is you guys deal with property managers. You guys ever hear of them? Once in a while we may have. So in Jobba and FCS, what you guys probably did was set up the property manager as the customer and then just put their property in there. In Jobba, you can actually link companies to a property. So I can set up the proper owner. So First Midwest was the owner of all those properties. But in this example here, CBRE manages just one of those properties. So I put in CBRE in and just link them to one of the properties for Midwest Auto Parts. So I know who the true owner is and I know who the property manager is. And then when they switch property managers, I just link them to that property. Because the property always exists. It doesn't go anywhere. And we could just move in and out who's responsible for what. It's a different idea, different concept, but we'll definitely go through that in training. For accounting, it helps you guys keep clear who owes you the money. Because sometimes if you're doing work directly for the owner, you guys will probably say the owner owes me that money. If I'm doing business with the property management company, they owe me that money. So this way, when you guys do accounting exports for invoices, you guys can keep it clear who actually owes me the money for whatever part of the process. Any questions? No?
Who is wowed by this besides me? Am I the only one that's like super excited about it? Okay.
Again, we talked about the idea of being able to look at properties at different points in time. So I'm just going to jump into Midwest Auto Parts and I'll just pick one of my stores here. So when we jump into a property record, we're going to see some new information. So for example, we can see customers balance and overdue. I can see by property balance and overdue. So this is their whole portfolio. This is for this particular property. I'm also going to see contact information. I can see if the property has a warranty on it or not. So it's all going to be right here on the front page for me. This is the last aerial image. And again, difference between FCS and FCS, if you change the aerial, you change it for all inspections and you can lose previous data. In Jobba, you do not. You can have aerials over time and you're not going to delete your previous data.
So that eliminates the double work, like in FCS, we have to do, if this property changes property management companies or whatever, instead of tagging it to this one, we have to add it, basically create a new one.
You're not going to have to do that
Eliminates
anymore.
the double,
Correct.
okay.
So now you just add the property manager and link them to their property and you could use the data that already exists.
Gotcha. Okay.
So besides managing customers, you guys can see the last front of the building photos, obviously the aerial. Adding work is very quick. I know this is not the process we want to do. We want to follow the true sales process. So we're going to go ahead and be able to add opportunities, which are deals inside of Jobba, so we can track that information. And again, we're going to go through your guys' process during training, but you guys can see we can start tracking opportunities. We can see all proposals, inspections, work orders from it. We can assign tasks to other users. So estimator, I need an estimate. Invoicing, call the customer, they're not happy about something, whatever the case is. So now we start tracking everything to the specific activity or opportunity. We can outbound email and text message a customer from Jobba. And if they reply to an email, it's going to show up in your normal email box.
Nice.
It's not going to show up back in Jobba yet. That's something that's coming, but it'll at least go into your normal email. Text messages, they just go, I call it the Jobbaverse. So I would put at the bottom of my text message, please call or something like that, because it doesn't come back to us.
So how we're going to utilize this in a different way than we've currently been doing is we are going to use these task functions. So we are going to assign tasks to people specifically. So when we have when you have a client that needs to have a proposal repriced because they're negotiating, or maybe we missed a scope of work, you're going to come in here and you're going to assign a task to whoever was the original estimator. If it was Robbie, you put Robbie. If it was Robert, you put Robert. If I estimated it, you'll put it towards me. We're going to enforce utilizing this so we have a trail of notes for these clients. That's one thing we're currently not doing in FCS. And so we consistently have this, oh, he said, she said, or I did this, but I can't find this. And then now it's all in there. It has, again, accountability and visibility for all of us. Because there are times when you guys send stuff to me and I forget about it. But if it's in there and it's assigned to me and I'm looking at this and it's going to show up on that dashboard that he first showed you when you log in, your tasks are on that dashboard. So it's going to show up in there. So we want to make sure that we, right out of the box, we start utilizing this and assigning it to the correct people. If this is an RFP or an RFQ and we have to do a presentation for it, then you're going to assign Travis to whatever print materials that you need. You'll assign Brian if you need him to go to the meeting with you. You'll assign me if you need my assistance with it. That way we know what we're assigned to.
So the notes feature, again, we can start organizing documents and creating folders, adding notes to our opportunities and our deals. So we have that paper trail. Attachments, I don't love it, but it's here, so I have to talk about it. It's just a place to freeform upload data. So pictures, PDFs. It's not my favorite because it's not structured, but it's here if you want to use it. And then this is something we're going to build out for you guys as you start using the platform. So this page I made on my own. So this is what I wanted to track on my opportunities and deals. You guys are going to have your own version of this, so you guys can track the data that matters to you. But part of your sales process, for example, we track flat versus slope and then the project type and all that information. You guys are going to start tracking that information here, so that way we can start tracking that data. And again, this can grow based on how you guys need it, but custom fields are available all over the Jobba application. And I think there may be even a committee or somebody that if you guys need something, talk to, and then we can add it to the system. But again, just because we didn't think of it doesn't mean that you guys can't do it in the platform. Just a couple other quick things I want to cover with you guys. You guys can track by property multiple warranty types. So my craftsmanship warranty versus my manufacturer's warranty. Who installed it? Maybe we sub that work out, for example. You guys can, what section is warranted versus what isn't. So very, very granular warranty information.
Will we also be able to upload the documents in there? For instance, like the manufacturer warranty, just go ahead and scan it in and upload it in there?
Yes, ma'am. So you can go ahead and do that. Select attachments. And then let's go ahead and say we just want to add our warranty tag. I just grabbed an inspection, but that's the idea. Now it's part of the system.
So one thing that we will be doing is all of our previous clients, because it comes up often, is and whoever is putting whenever we take a phone call, nobody knows if it was an NDL, if it was a shingle roof, we just don't know because we weren't tracking it that way in FCS. So pretty much you guys have to ask Robbie, or you have to call me and ask me, or sometimes like if Candace was here at the time, you'll ask Candace. But this takes it out. So you guys will have the ability to view all of this. So any project that we've done up until now, within the next, I would say 90 days, we're going to go through, and I'm volunteering Caitlin to help me with this. Caitlin, we're going to go through and put all of the previous warranties for our production projects in there. I'm not doing our service because we have thousands of service warranties, but we can do all of our re-roofs, new construction, all of that stuff. So we will upload all of that into there. And so from the time that we start Java forward, we'll have that data.
You don't have to figure out what
You guys don't
year
have to figure it out. You don't have to
it was
call.
re-roofed
Yeah.
and where, or what
Yeah.
commercial folder.
This is, and if it hasn't been clarified before, some of you know this already, but this is replacing the service Dropbox. So no longer will we be utilizing the service Dropbox. So everything resides within Java. Now, when we roll this out for production too, same concept. Nothing will be saved in except for maybe some drawings and stuff that we have to keep, but everything will reside within Java. So
Okay.
pay apps, lien waivers, contracts, change orders, daily photos, daily timesheets, all of that resides within Java. Again, it's visibility and accountability.
When you say reside in Java, like when I create the pay app, I'm uploading it into Java?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, everything will be in there. There is an invoicing function within there that you will be utilizing. So
Okay.
it will, just to let you know that we're streamlining this. We're not using this in addition to the current processes we have. We are replacing completely our processes.
So we can also keep track of maintenance contracts. Again, same level of detail as a warranty allows us to do. Where we can say one section is warranty, one section has maintenance versus the other. Keep track of them. Everybody knows those NDLs you have to have at least once a year. So now you can keep track of the NDL and the maintenance that went with it to really help your customers.
Would
Please,
it
Nana.
allow us to set up notifications? So we have maintenance contracts that are maybe, quarterly preventative maintenance or semi-annually, and we could get a notification like, hey, next month you have to schedule
Yep,
XYZ.
30 days before each schedule, the salesperson associated to the account will get a notification letting them know that they have a maintenance that needs to be created. So whoever's marked as the salesperson will get that notification. Documents. So again, we can see all of our document history in one spot. Whatever you guys need to do. And then I'll just start back over at the beginning real quick so we can see inspection history. So now I've got every inspection I ever did. I don't overwrite the last one.
Right.
And so I can see points in time.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's great.
Isn't that awesome?
I can see proposals,
It does.
service work order history, invoices. So again, all of this information's in one place now. Again, a lot of the same ideas between FCS and Java, but taking it to a different level. And I'm going to probably, the one thing that shocks most FCS customers when they're going over to Java is in FCS, you have a dispatch. The dispatch is the work order, it's the invoice, it's everything. In Java, we have a different concept. You have a work order, and underneath the work order, I have individual dispatches. So say it takes us 10 trips to finish a service ticket. I have 10 individual dispatches to one work order. So I can create one invoice. I can send different crews out on different days. I could start it on Monday, wait for other trades for 2 weeks, and then go back out. So we have a lot more flexibility with being able to schedule and keep track of things without getting it really discombobulated.
And this also allowed the crews, for instance, let's say Travis goes out one and then Robbie's going out the next time. Robbie can see what Travis did.
He can see what Travis did,
and
but
see those
his
photos.
activities
It's under
on his own
yeah.
dispatch. Yep, so you guys will be able to see all that information. So again, there's a lot here underneath the platform. I wanted to give you guys a quick walkthrough, most of what we're going to be covering today. But to stay on schedule, unless anybody has any questions, we're going to go ahead and take our 10-minute break, and then we'll jump back into entering clients and client management part of the day. But does anybody have any questions?